Hey party people, and welcome back to MVM. Today I'm here with a Kickstarter preview for Collab, which is published by Portal Dragon Games. It is designed by John Meatley and Jonathan Gilmore, and I've been tracking this game for a couple years now, and now it is finally here. So what is this game? So it is some dice placement, minion resource management type game where you're going to be placing your dice workers out there, and then you're going to be taking resources as you put them on and take them off. But it's got an interesting collection system and building system where the adjacency of your characters, your minions, and other minions can help you collect more resources and build cards. I'm going to show you how that works. Let's just get to the boards and get it started. Collab, let's go. All right, party people, let's show you Collab. Now, this game is played until a player has made its 12th card, and then we finish out the round. Rounds go in clockwise order, starting with the player that's randomly the first player. So what are we doing? So in Collab, you are placing worker and taking it off, and then after that, you're taking either a collect action or a build action. On the board here, you have 6 labs, these spots here that are kind of triangle, rounded off triangle parts, and then you have the towers, which are in between here. So you're going to have 6 of those. And each place you're going to have on this tower 3 worker placement spots. This is set up for a 2-player game, so you're going to see these open markers here on the open minions on the outside, and they'll always be open. And you have these spots here, which are placed out here randomly, by the way. You have these chips here, this kind of chips that go inside of here, and they're placed out here randomly. They have 2 actions, and then you have one that has a 1 action on here. And yes, there are some times where you want to take 1 instead of the 2. Now, just to give you an idea of what they are, the bottom ones here, these ones represent resources and their colors, and then these 2 actions I'll talk about as we go along, but actually I'll explain them now. You have one where it says, hey, you take dice out of your bowl, and then you can re-roll them, or you can re-roll 2 dice. You have ones where you can get cards. Those cards, you can either get one of either of those cards, any of those cards, or you can get specific colors. You can get potions as well, and those potions are going to come out and go on cards. That's basically what's out there. Now, what happens when you place a worker? Well, let's talk about dice. You have these different colored dice. You're going to have a blue that represents potion, red that represents machines, and purple that's going to represent the monsters. Each one of them has the 6-sided dice, but they have 2 different types of icons that match with them, and then also one that just represents the shape. That's what these resource tokens will do as you get them out here. Like this blue one here is going to represent the shapes of all blue faces in the game. And then red has a square, so you're going to have a diamond or square. And then you have circle, which is for monsters. So those would be the purple ones in shape. But anyway, you're going to have these dice. At the beginning of the game, you start with the white ones here, and they're going to have 1 of each color. They're going to have 2 of each color on there. So you'd be rolling your dice, and then at the beginning of the game, and that'll be your dice pool. But eventually you'll start getting more of these dice as you add to this board and do building actions and things like that. I'm going to show you. But anyway, we're going to take a worker and place it out here, and there is some strategy to it, and I'm going to go through my turn for each one of these players. So I'm going to go ahead and put this red out here. And I'm going to put that out here. So I would place it inside of my minion here, and then I would place it out in the spot. And I'm going to place it out in one of these spots here. Okay, like so. All right, so now I'm going to place it out in that spot there. And when I place it, I'm going to take this action. So I can either take this one here at the bottom or these 2 here. I actually want a die. So I'm going to roll it. I'm going to take a red. Ooh, that's perfect because it's going to give me 2 of any red, and then I'm going to take 1 potion. Now I should say, okay, I'm going to take a potion and place there. You can have a max of 4 resources at the end of your turn, a max of 6 cards at the end of your turn, and then also if you cannot, you can't go or you need more dice, you can place your worker here in the middle. That's called a rest turn, and then you will receive 2 of any of these resources here. And then you would re-roll your dice, and you can re-roll, take all these out of your pool and roll them. You can roll these as well. If you just want to basically refresh your situation, you can do that as well. And now that I've placed and I've taken that action, now I need to take 1 off and take that action. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this one off because I don't, yeah, let's see here. I want to build a red card. So I'm going to take this one off. And what is that going to get me? It's going to get me a purple or purple and a science or just any other card. And I think I do want a purple. So I'm going to take this card. Purples are monsters. And we'll talk about what that is when you build there and kind of the significance of why you want to do that. So I'm going to get a purple and a potion, which I think I grabbed, but maybe I didn't. So I'm just going to put that right there. All right. So now that I've grabbed them, and I'll put this back in here, and just know that I'm not going to be rolling these every round. Now I have two choices. I can either collect or I can build, and I'm going to choose to build. So I'm going to take my character and I'm going to place them. I'm going to place them there because I'm going to try to build 2 red cards. Now, how do I know I'm going to be able to build 2 red cards? Well, I have these 2 machine icons here. So that means I can only build machines there. But the first part of that is adding to this area here. Now, this area actually interacts with the collect action, but the first part is you must build the lowest one you can build. So the lowest one I can build here, if I was here, if I had none of these here, I would have to build a number 1 and put it there. If I was starting with these 3 right here, I'd have to put one of these number 2s in there. But I already have all that, so I'm going to put a number 3 up here like so. It's going to finish that off. And as you can see, it's got like a presentation of a triangle right there. So now I can build 2 cards. And that's kind of what this build action does, is it makes it attractive for people who are collecting. And I'm going to show you that in a second here. So I move my worker, I've done that, and I'm going to build these cards. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to build HP Lovekins. I think I'm going to build HP Lovekins. Can I build them? I would need a, oh yeah, perfect. So I'm going to build HP Lovekins. No, I'm not. I'm going to build, let's see, I'm going to build this guy here. So I'm going to build Eddie Bear. And these cards all have different resources that you need to build them. This one right here, Eddie Bear, I need 3 brains. Actually, I need to build a red. So I'm going to build this telegraph here. So I'm going to build the telegraph. And I'll tell you why I'm going to build using this. Because this machines, they have triggers on them. And I want to get a trigger token because I may be trying to build a kind of a tableau that's set up here for that. And the reason why is because all these workers, mine included, will give me resources to build these cards. And I want to take advantage of that. I have a wrench here, 3 wrenches here. So 2, 3 wrenches, and then any of 2 icons. And I can use those to build. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one here to build this one. And I'm going to use this 2 resources here, any 2 resources here, plus my leaf that I need for this one here, plus I'm actually not going to use this dye. I'm going to use this blue here for that and a purple for that. So I'm just going to kind of move these off so I know I've used these to spend. And then I'm going to build the sonic telegraph like this and put it in my area. Now, if there's things that trigger based on adjacency, mainly these machines, that's what they do. They trigger and give you abilities. That's what you would get. And the trigger for this one, if someone were to build here, is I would gain a dice of any color. So that's, kind of important there. I just want to make sure. Now, can I build another red with that 1 die right there and some other stuff that I have right there? Let's see. I can probably build this telegraph. So the telegraph is going to cost 1 wrench. And then I have 2 more wrenches. I have 2 more of any resource here. So I have 1 wrench, and then I have one more, and that would fill 1 more, and then I would put this here. So now I have a total of those 4 resources I need. And I probably want to build it next to this because it's going to trigger. Okay, so I can have a 4x4 grid, and what's that going to do is it's going to trigger this one here. And when you trigger it, you flip it over like that, and then I would gain a die of any color. So I would go ahead and do that. And as you notice, as I'm spinning things, they return to a certain spot here. I put the die back in, and then boom, I trigger that, I gain the die. And also, if this triggers, which I have to put it back over here or somewhere right here, I would get any one of these resource tokens. So that's kind of how this builds. I've built 2 of those. That would be my turn. Now, and at the end of my turn, I have to flip this. Remember, 6 cards total, and also 4 of these resources. Now, at the end of my turn, if I had these lab tokens, I can put them on top of cards that need labs. Now the blue cards are potions, and the potions will trigger off these lab tokens. The lab tokens are going to, you can use them once per turn to activate an action. This one right here says, return one die to your dice pool, to your pool. Return an additional die for every unique adjacent card, and that's basically, that's different, that's unique. So I would have to have, let's say a monster here and a potion here to get more dice back. But I'm gonna go ahead and put all these on here. You can have a total of 4. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the other action. So I'm gonna take my turn. We're going to place, I'll put those back out there. I'm gonna go ahead and place, I'm gonna try to use this as well, but I want a monster card. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna put a worker out here that's gonna give me a monster card. So I'll place this out here. All right, and when I do, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my purple dice and my purple and any color die. So we're gonna do that. All right, my purple gave me a circle and a brain. That's exactly what I would want. And then I'm going to take one off. I'm going to take this one off, and that's going to go back in there. And then I'm going to receive, let's see, I want to maybe roll another die. No, I want a purple resource. So I'm going to take that one. And as you can see, I specifically needed a purple resource. Now I'm going to do, instead of building, I'm going to take a collect action. Collect actions work like this. I'm going to look at how many workers are around my own and other player colors. And then I can take that action. But in order to do that, I'm going to move. Yeah, I'm going to move over here. Now, what happens in a collect action, and we can share this spot here, when we count those up, so now I have 4 total, 1, 2, 3, 4 collect actions. And I would look at the icons that are over here, and I would spend them in order to take this. So for example, I could spend 2 to receive a specific color die. I could spend 1 to receive a red. I could spend 2 to receive any color card. This one here I can use to return 2 dice. This one here I can pay 2 to take any one of these other actions. Same here, pay 2 to take 2 of these other actions. So I can build this little combo over here, which the other player created for me. That's what makes this game very interesting to other players. So you got to pay attention to that stuff, kind of keep your head on a swivel. So for example, I'm just going to make this stuff easy. I'm going to go ahead and take a red die for 1. I'm going to take another color die for 2. So that's a total of 3. And then for 4, I'm going to take 2 dice out and then just roll them. Okay, cool. Done deal. All right, so there you go. I have taken the collect action where I will activate based off all these different workers here. I've taken the build action for them where I will build on top of this, starting with the lowest up. If I was building here, I'd have to build another 1. That's how this looks. If I was building here again, it would start to build up. But that's kind of how that one works. And then at the end of the game, like I said, you're going to be paying attention to these as you go along, and I should just kind of overstate the cards. The monsters will score points, like according to adjacency in most cases. Like I have HP Lovekin, who gives me 5 points. And by the way, I didn't take a point for this card that I built. But HP Lovekin's is -1 point each for these monsters that are there. And let me just whip out other more monsters. Audrey is going to give me points for rows and columns that are filled. Let's see here. The Millicent Call will give me +3 points for each adjacent monster. There's other potions. Let's just kind of go through some of these cards. Grizzly Flagon, activate 1 trigger ability in your grid, so I can probably create more combos if I wanted to. And these are just going to require these potion tokens, and I just use once per turn. Gain any one of these color resource tokens, gain an additional of the same color as an adjacent card. So these are different things that you can spend on your turn. So you got action going on here, points going on here, and then potential to gather all those things there. And once again, at the end of the game, you are going to get points based on what you have out here, cards in your tableau, and in-game scoring cards, which I do not have, unfortunately. That is the game in a nutshell. Hopefully I give you an idea of how it works. This is Collab. let's get to my final thoughts. So Collab has some interesting things going on. Familiar, place a worker on, take it off, get resources. We've seen that before, right? But from there, what those minions do and the importance of what's placed there, that changes the whole situation up. I mean, just placing your worker out there will allow other people and yourself to build cards a little bit more efficiently, especially for people who do not have as many dice as yours. That creates a very attractive system. People will want to flock to your spot. But as you are building and placing workers there, you are also creating an opportunity to do more collect actions. And as a player builds, they have to add things to it. It makes it even more attractive because now I want to collect there because I can get a build opportunity. I can get more dice. I can get all these things. So you don't want to crowd a spot up. It creates a hot spot in a sense, right? But that's where the interesting parts of Collab come together. That's where the fun is in Collab. And it's also going to make you pay attention on off turns. That's something that I think will keep people really engaged as the game goes along. Just a really interesting blend of mechanisms there in that part, and it just creates this interesting, engaging, intense, sometimes intense experience. That's Collab in a nutshell. And let me just say this, I'm sorry, I'm not covering the solo mode. I really want to. I know you guys trust me with the solo mode stuff. I just happened to not play this one. It was on a tight timeline. But I will be going into a convention, and if I can sit with the designer and he'd be willing to show me, the co-designer, I believe John will be there at Gen Con 21, because this will age. If I see him there, I will try to play the game with him and show it to you in motion so you get an idea of what that looks like. But hopefully I helped you make an informed backing decision today, because I can never tell people what to do with their money. All right, if you got any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you want to ask me anything, you know I will answer it in the comments below. And I'd like to thank Portal Dragon for sponsoring this video. I'd like to thank you for your time. And with that, party people, you take care and have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me on MVM.